Eden Zero is back, and I have no idea where this story's going. I generally am confused right now. I guess we're like 2, 3 chapters away from the ending because literally everything has been wrapped up except for the chronophage. We're back with Ziggy and Void, and I was wrong. Void didn't go into overdrive, nor does Eden Zero help him. Instead, he just uses his gravity to move without his legs, which technically he was already doing because they're out in space, so nothing's changed. Except for the fact that Ziggy did succeed in stopping him from using his time ether, so I guess Ziggy did, in fact, just do it. Eden Zero's main cannon is at 90% power. They're saying just fire it now, but obviously Witch and Kermit know better, saying no, we need it 100%. We gotta make sure the Eden's one is dead. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of ships just fly up behind the Eden's one. And the crew obviously thinks it's reinforcements, but it's not. In fact, what happened was apparently Void spread his AI to all of these ships that he decided to build himself, and they start attacking the Eden Zero. And that's when the crew realizes even if they destroyed the Eden's one, now they have an entire army of ships to deal with. So they basically have one shot, but there's no doubt that one shot will go to waste, especially if all those smaller ships decide to use themselves as protection so the Eden's one can survive. Now, Void says he makes enough ships to wipe out the entire human race, but that is 100% not true, based on what happens later on in this chapter. But at the moment, he's currently still fighting Ziggy, and he actually punches straight through his stomach, but once again, they're both androids. This doesn't kill him. The Eden Zero starts to get overwhelmed with just sheer volume of fire, but that's when all the other ships start getting blown up. And the reason for this is because the Interstellar Union is there. They have every single member of the Horatio Interstellar, but also they have other groups there, like Homura's mother. Yeah, Madame Kurnai is there, her giant robot. You know, the same one that Shiki was able to crush even before he went to overdrive, so the fact that it can fight on par with the ships made from the Eden's One's AI is kind of ridiculous. Because once again, the Eden's One has access to the very machine that was used to make the dragon, so the fact that these ships are so weak is kind of ridiculous to me, especially since Void literally just said he made enough of them to destroy humanity. No, he didn't. Also, Shura and his men are there, so they're fighting alongside rebels that were fighting against Shura, so that's a weird thing. I guess they teamed up now? I don't know. I guess that political marriage of theirs finally went through, him and the princess, who cares. And finally, Draken Joe is there. He is the last person I expected to be there because while he isn't completely evil in this universe, he also didn't like Shiki and actively told him to leave. But I suppose even he doesn't want to die because Mother disappears, so I guess it makes sense, self-preservation and all. And the whole reason why they were found is actually because of Lobelica. That message sent out through B-Cube, she of course took that signal and just gave it to literally everyone's across all the cosmoses, and they were able to then backtrack it to the Eden Zero location. So yeah, the Rescue Alliance starts just wiping out all of Void's ships, allowing the Eden Zero to focus on the Eden's One. Ziggy also said it's time for this to end, but he doesn't just say for Void to end, he says for both of us to end, which, based on what happens next, heavily implies that he's sucking up the last of his energy to do it. So Ziggy starts to charge up this powerful attack. In fact, Void even says, where did all that energy come from? There's a high possibility Ziggy is using up basically what's left of his energy, the last of his ether in his body. Now, obviously, he's going to have just a little left so he can say goodbye to Shiki, but other than that, I really think this is probably Ziggy's end. Either that or this line is just mistranslated, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, both Ziggy and the Eden Zero fire off their big attacks at the exact same time, and they hit both of their targets. The Eden Zero is just obliterated, and Void is, well, you see it. He's like peeled away piece by the energy blast, so he is like vaporized completely. And Void says we're going back to the Void of Zero, which, you know, makes sense because he was technically just a consciousness to begin with, so the fact that his body is being annihilated means he's going back to where he was originally, nothingness, which is probably the most depressing way to exist, because you both exist and don't exist at the exact same time. Void's birth is probably the worst that has ever existed. At the same time, you can say he technically never existed, which is even more depressing to think about. Either way, both the ship and Void are gone, so unless there's a straggler AI out there with their consciousness going around, that's it. They're done. They're dead. And so, like I said, this story is probably going to end in the next 2 chapters, maybe 3 at most, because all that's left is the chronophage eats Mother's time, turns her back to the Earth, and then Ziggy does whatever he has to with the chronophage. Now, originally he was planning on killing it, but since we now know that it's just Rebecca from another time, I can't imagine he has it in him to do that. Odds are its story's going to end with her just leaving, either that or her fusing with the current Rebecca. Because all Chronophage wants is to have her time back. Best way to do that is to, merge with the current Rebecca. At that point, you will have all your time back. She will be whole again. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give a thumbs up so you enjoy more Inzir and other my things. Thank you, and have a great day.